see, it'd be a good idea to have your house, I'd say, as minimalist as possible, and it pays off because you can have it where it's Airbnb ready pretty quickly. Because if it happened to me, if I got laid off or something, or whatever, or they weren't paying me, like I said, might as well cash in on the sick days that I've saved up, and then of course not getting paid for the sick days either. I'm not going to be going to work, or I could. I don't know. Either way, I have an option.
Yeah.
And I'll sure as hell be Airbnb the hell out of every single house I have.
Yeah.
And it'll be Airbnb ready. Put it on the market right away. Try to Airbnb the hell out of it. See what happens. It might work. It might not work. I might get a little bit of money. A little bit's better than nothing. But then I'll go, hey, I'll call up my dad. Hey, we're going to be sleeping on y'all's couch until this blows over.
Yeah.
So we're renting out our houses, on Airbnb.
So we got your paper,
It's a little bit of a backup plan. Of course, I would talk to the banks. I would talk to the people and say, hey, just can we just put this payment, next month or the month? I don't know. Maybe they'll. I don't know. You never know. There's extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
Right?
Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Myka and Steve.
Hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
of Live,
Let, Thrive. Man, what's been up? Been a week since we did this?
It's been a little while, man.
Yeah, been a little while. What episode we on?
We are on episode 77.
77, man. We got a lot of notes, a lot of stuff to go over. We got a lot of, current events going on. We got the government shutdown.
We got to talk that.
Yeah, 2019, we got a bunch of stuff going on for the new year. But yeah.
And I started off the talking into the wrong microphone, but here I am. Hello. Y'all can hear me. It echoes in here. That's what's going on. We got a lot of stuff, man. I've been doing good. And it's episode 77 of Live, Let, Thrive, your favorite Airbnb, VRBO, Home Away, Turo, Uber, all that stuff podcast. And we're here to kick some ass today. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna kick some serious ass.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm gonna start this off with a question. Have you ever heard of a next-gen home?
A next-gen home? No. See, when you wrote that on the notes, I was like, what the hell? I didn't want to ask at that moment because, save it for the cast, Yeah. But I was like, what the hell is a next-gen home? And please enlighten us, Myka.
So a next-gen home it's a home within a home. Meaning you have two kitchens, you have two garages, and the second, you have two-car garages, and you have one-car garage. And the one-car garage leads into this suite that has a kitchen, a bathroom, a kitchen, bathroom, and its own living room. It's pretty much two houses in one, but it's not a duplex. You have your own entrance. And what I was looking at, because me and Mahogany were trying to pretty much start a family, expand the family, I should say. So we were thinking maybe we could get this next-gen home, and we could Airbnb the guest space. You could charge like $75 to $125 a night because it's a private area. It's their own entire suite to themselves. So that's a next gen home. Y'all got to Google them, man. They're dope. Me and my boy Josh been looking at them, and the only thing about them, they're really high. They're really expensive. So
because it's kind of like buying a duplex. Then I know it's not side by side, but they're going to be expensive like buying a duplex.
Yeah. They're expensive like buying a duplex, but you get the entire place to yourself. So now when I house hack, I don't necessarily have to see the guests. Except for one portion, the laundry is shared. That's the only portion.
When did this next-gen home thing start, and where can you find these at? Because that is the first time I've heard of it.
Lennar Homes built them. Lennar. Lennar Homes built them. They're all over Fort Worth, Keller, Dallas. They're a bunch out of state. I've seen a bunch of them in Arizona. But they're really starting to hit the DFW. The only con that I've seen to them where they're all far out. They're all out in what is it, Keller and Saginaw up there. But I was like, man, I'd make that commute to have that good house hack, And only thing is, and they start at like $360-ish.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's a full blown investment. And then my goal was, because I had hit you up about it. My whole goal was to sell all my single families after that and just buy multifamilies. Yeah, man. So it's been an interesting week.
That is interesting, man. That sounds pretty cool. And now, did they come about because of Airbnb?
No, they've
been around for a while.
No, they were literally meant for people that pretty much, okay, you have a son that lives at home with you. He's out of college. He lives at home with you, right? So that's where the next gen concept came in. It came in through that. So, hey, they built an entire suite for your kids. That's why it's called the next gen home.
Yeah.
And that's where it came from. So, yeah, that's pretty much what the concept came from.
That's cool, man. Keep talking.
So,
I'm just messing with the YouTube feed. For some reason, it's being weird. But, anyways, yeah.
Let it go.
Let it go. All right. It reminds me of my band days, because I remember the first time, because I used to be in a band, the Live Let Thrive theme music you hear entering the show and leaving the show. That's from my band, the Clean Beats, back in the day.
Yeah.
And so I remember being on stage, our first gig, and nervous as hell, right? Everybody shows up to your first gig. It's funny because like your friends and family, everybody wants to see, all right, what's this all about? Yeah. And we filled up a bar and everything, and we were all freaking nervous. And we got to one of the songs, and my guitarist was playing different notes than I was, and I was like, no, man, this is the note. I kind of like, I stopped the song. I was like, hey, man, you're playing the wrong. He's like, man, don't ever stop the song. We just played through it. And I'm like, all right, dude, all right.
Gotta keep on going.
And it's like a small place. People, pounding, the drums are pounding, taking over everything. The guitars, all amped up, the bass, and it's just like singing. And so, yeah, people don't really notice. Just as long as you keep going and like you never made a mistake, and people won't think you made a mistake, like President Trump.
There you go. Keep it pushing.
So we're pushing through.
Yeah, man. So what's your 2019 goals? What you got going on for the 2K19?
I like that. 2K19. 2K19 is, I keep doing it. We're at a little bit of a crossroads because two of the spots where I have Airbnbs, which, my current house, which we planned on Airbnb. That's why I bought right here. And in Arlington, and then the Hurst house, both of those cities, well, the Hurst already did their little ban, whatever, and which kicks in the summertime. And the Arlington house is, Arlington, they're starting to ban it too. They're trying to start to ban it. They're doing their SUP process and all that stuff. That's going to come down the pipes pretty soon. So it's like, we could go underground. That's like, we've been talking about on the show how to go underground if necessary. And that's an option. And I guess the true test of that is when they finally do reach you in one way or another, either like someone coming in and trying to rent your place that ain't, a real person, or that, that's like a company they send out to find people. The true test is the city saying, all right, we're going to start fining you $2,000 every day that you're doing this illegally, or you can stop doing this. That's when the true test begins. And how do we react to that?
You're talking about pretty much the enforcement.
The enforcement, yeah.
See, and that's what I'm thinking. I say sit still until they find a way to enforce it.
Just keep doing what I'm doing.
Because I feel like, I don't think, especially Hearst, I don't think they have the infrastructure to do that. You could get somebody, you have instant booking on, right? Are most of your bookings instant book?
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of those people are going to have reviews and they're known Airbnbers, so I don't think you have anything really to worry about. That's why I was kind of going with the whole house hack model. Like, I think that's the safest thing to do. And that's why I kind of wanted to look at multifamilies because of that. With all these bans supposedly coming, if you have the leverage of like a duplex or a fourplex, you can just, go back to traditional or corporate and still build back up. Like, I think residential neighborhoods are going to get hit the hardest. If you're arbitraging out of a 300-unit apartment complex, it's very unlikely you'll be caught for one. And plus, most of the time, the apartment complexes allowed you to do it,
Right.
So I really think they're going to have a hard time enforcing it. Like, if you look at New York, and we're going to be talking about New York a little bit further today, They had to pretty much overturn everything, but I heard Airbnb had some strings behind that. So it'll be interesting, man. It'll be
interesting to say the least. But that's the thing. So my crossroads would be to continue to do Airbnb and let the chips fall where they fall, and or try to go to like a long-term rental, model. Which my first house is a long-term rental, and it's been doing pretty good. Of course, I bought it after the crash, so I got a good price on it. So I mean, of course, I'm cash flowing pretty good on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm flexible. I can do either one. But my goal is to keep growing.
Yeah.
And I do want to get another house if this year for sure, but it might happen like really soon. Like I said, if I get our friend Ken's house, And so on that subject real quick, I looked at another house that was kind of close by where Ken's is. I was like, well, if I'm going to live in that area, let's see what else is out there. And there was one that was similar. Well, it was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath kind of deal. And it was smaller, but the price was also a little smaller. And what I liked, the backyard, it looked on the pictures, it looked like it was overlooking a park. Your backyard didn't touch nobody else's house. It was just a park back there. And soccer fields and a lot of land. I was like, man, that'd be cool. No backdoor neighbors, whatever. And anyways, I told Ken, we really like your house, but let's see a couple more before we decide something. And so he said, oh, cool. He's still my agent, So anyways, want to check it out. The thing is, I put it in the notes. I said, the view was nice and all, but straight on, like, I don't know, it was about probably half a mile away or maybe, give or take. It's a big, like, a post-apocalyptic factory thing going on over there.
Really? The smoke and stuff going on?
Yeah, there was some smoke coming out. I looked on the map. It said something like JBL Construction or something. I don't know what they make there, what they do there. But you saw, like, a big, like, a tower thing with some smoke coming off of it. And I was like, it's just like, man, even if that's far enough away and there's no chemicals being pumped in the air, if I sat out on my back porch with my coffee or, with a drink, I'm going to stare at that damn thing. And you can hear like a buzz coming from like, I'm like, oh man, I just can't, man. That thing freaking ruins the view. I thought I was going to see a beautiful sunset every day, but no, that's a big old post-apocalyptic factory going on. So I decided, no, we can't do that. It was a nice enough house, but it's like, nah. And the neighborhood, you saw it getting a little rough around the edges too.
For real, like around the corner or like in the neighborhood?
In the neighborhood, around the corner a little bit. Some of the garages getting a little bit where they don't look like they open and close too good. Grass is all growing over.
Start taking a little dip.
Taking a little dip, yeah. So it's a little bit older neighborhood than what Cons is. And
what year was the house built?
That house was built in 2002. So not super old.
Yeah, not super old.
His the one that we're thinking about buying is 2007, and he said that doesn't seem like a big difference, but that's 5 years more of wear and tear to a neighborhood, and that view though, I just couldn't get past it, man. I thought I was gonna have the perfect. I was gonna make a door to go out my backyard to go to the park and stuff. Like perfect, man, but no.
Where's it at?
It's over there off of it's like a little bit north of where Can's house is, what I was showing you, like off of Cook's Lane and 30.
So it's considered Fort Worth?
It's considered Fort Worth, yeah.
Okay.
And so go a little bit deeper, go all the way to where Randall Mill crosses, like Cook's Lane over that way, a little bit north of that, and that's where it's at. So that factory thing's like, I think it's like right off the freeway, so off 820. So no go on that house, but we still love. I mean, what do you look for when you go look for a house? I know you're looking at it a little bit differently now as a investment opportunity, but if you were looking for just the ideal home for you and your family, what would you look for? Right
now, I would be looking for probably, because I think that also depends on what kind of family you want, how big your family wants to be. Like right now, me and Mahogany, we want another child, so I'd actually probably be looking to downgrade to like a 3-bedroom, and then have a guest suite. But like really what I look at, if I'm looking at for a house to live in, equity, school district, I go to schooldigger.com, see if the housing's going up, going down. School district is really big, especially when you have kids. truly don't want to send my kids to public school, but hey, if it happens, it happens. So that's the things I look for: school district and equity. If it's going to go up.
Okay, when you say equity, I automatically think that's how much you got into the house.
Okay. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. How much the house is going to go
appreciation.
up? Yeah, appreciation. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Bad choice of words. Yeah, appreciation.
Unless you can put in 50% down, then you'll have some serious equity.
Hell no. But yeah, I'm looking at real appreciation. That's what it is. Better word. And the word actually. So that's what I look at.
And that's the thing with because we're wanting to do the homeschool route. Mm-hmm. And what's cool about doing the house hacking thing, because you could even find like a really badass house in a place that don't have the best school district, right? Mm-hmm. Because you have like 4 or 5 other houses that might be, in those good school districts, and you can send your kid to anyone you want.
Yeah.
Really, right?
Yeah.
Just homestead in that one.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah. See, I think that's more of that's like the investment route. Like, hey, I'm just going to invest in this, make sure it cash flows. Another thing, cash flow is huge. Like, I was listening to a guy on Bigger Pockets, and he said he'll take a hit on cash flow so he can get the house that's going up and that's appreciating. He was like, I'll take a hit on my cash flow purposely just to do that. So it's all types of strategies out there.
Yeah, but, and then I guess as far as an exit strategy, it would be nice to have a home in a good school district, because if you want to bounce from it, it'd be hard to sell it and the school gets like a 2 or 3 rating on the Zillow. Yeah. It's hard to sell a house.
Yeah, for real. You got to look at and that's what I've been like. Me and my little crew, we've been like really, really big on looking at exit strategies. Because I went into that Airbnb professional host group and I asked about exit strategies, and there was nothing. Like a lot of people just arbitrage into arbitrage, house hack into house hack. I'm like, well, like, what's your strategy? And then one lady, she came and told me her strategy, but I'm like, because I asked it particularly for arbitragers, because I've been looking at arbitraging, but I'm like, I don't know the exit strategy on that. And she just kind of was talking about home. I'm like, that's a real estate exit strategy that works, but I really wanted to know what an arbitrager's exit strategy is. So, like, exit strategy is really what I've been looking at, and that's why I was looking at that next gen home, because I've seen a lot of exit strategies coming out of there. But
Eric Chan has a question. Oh, did I interrupt you? Go ahead.
Say end of the show. Let's go.
You want to do the end of the show? All right, okay. I'll do this one, and then we'll wait to the end of the show to answer them to make them hang in there.
Yeah.
What up, Eric Chan? He says, Steve, have you considered corporate arbitrage as an alternative to Airbnb? Yes, I have, Eric Chan, and I am on Furnished Finders. I've had no luck with Furnished Finders so far because I told you I guess the problem that I've talked to a few, and most people coming through is 1 or 2 people, and they said, well, we really don't need a big house with a big yard, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. They're looking for something that you got, like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom condo. That's perfect for them. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be cutting no yard. They don't want to be doing this and that. I'm not saying they have to. The conversation never goes beyond that. They ain't looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
That's true.
But I think here in Arlington, where we're at close to the stadiums, there's going to be a lot of business coming to town. There's going to be a XFL team coming. Of course, we got the baseball, the football, even women's basketball. We got a bunch of stuff coming that's going to bring business. And I think this might be a better spot for a corporate arbitrage.
When's the XFL coming?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But they're coming. They're going to play out of the Rangers Stadium.
Speaking of, that's what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, they're not gonna, okay. Jerry ain't gonna let no XFL team get on his field.
Yeah. I was wondering what they were gonna do with the old Ranger Stadium. So, one thing you brought up, because we were talking about houses, and remember I was like kind of in a bind. I was like, should I keep my house or should I sell it after I buy another house? And I was thinking, and the only reason I chose sell was because I was thinking the only way to truly make that a cash flow, like a cash flow house, and be hands off. Well, you'd be hands-on, kind of, was to get somebody to live in the master bedroom, charge them cheap rent, and then get somebody else, and then rent out all the rooms one by one. And I was like, then you have to manage the manager. I was like, well, no, unless it was somebody I really trusted. But that was one reason that I was considering maybe I can keep the other house. But, like, right now, I got one of my houses up for sale. And if I get this, we're going to take a look at the next-gen homes first. And if we can't find one that we want and that's price feasible, then I might just pull the equity out of my house and buy a multifamily. That's my alternative to that.
Okay.
So I'm looking at 2 or 3 different things. I'm just trying to go the safest route.
Yeah, safety is good, man. Especially you're gonna bring another kiddo into the mix.
Yeah, for real, for real.
What about just pulling the equity out of your house that you have now, not selling it, just pull the big old chunk of the equity out, put it in the bank or wherever you want to put it, and then just rent it out as a long-term rental. Is that an option too?
No. I'm not trying to, because that I automatically go up to a higher interest rate if I do that.
That's the problem with that right now. I know
Yeah.
the Bigger Pockets talks about that all the time. Do the burr. I'm like, I don't want to burr my properties now. The interest rate I got on it was like 2% and 3% back in the day.
Real,
Why am I
man.
going to jump up to 6 or 7%? Turn it into a,
I mean, mine ain't high. It's like a 0.9% rise, but I'm at 4.125. To go to a 5, you're like, that 0.9%, that's a hurt, man. You
Plus, I wonder if you do that, what's it called? They pull the equity out, do refinance, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, I think because you still get the lower interest rate because not because if like I said, if I go buy a house and I out for the specific purpose to rent it out to be an investment property,
You gotta put down
it's going to be a lot. It's going to be more money down, of course, but it's going to be like almost a point more interest rate. Did you know that?
Yeah.
But if you buy it for you and your family, it's like, let's say it'll be like 5, but if you buy it as an investment property, it'll be like a 6, percent interest rate. But if you're still in that house and you do the equity thing and pull it out, you're only gonna go up a little bit, and then you can bounce from the house, I guess.
And that's why I say you should never buy a single family home as an investment property. Like put down 20%. That's a killer. You put down 20% on single family, I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't do it. The only reason I would put down 20% if it was multi. Like that's why I was using your strategy to put down 5%.
3%.
3%. See, or put down 3%, move into it, and that's what I was going to do. I was going to put down 3, move into the property, and then sell the property sell the old house that I was in, and then buy multifamily. So it's interesting. So many different strategies out there that you can use and like come up on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just pretty much all about the safest risk I get, the safest bet. You know what I mean?
I like that. It's like an oxymoron right there.
Yeah, the safest
risk.
I mean, really what it is. With real estate, you got to go with the safest risk, the most calculated risk.
I told you before, that's how I play poker.
Yeah.
I might have a damn good hand, but if I've already known I've got enough chips that I'm going to win on this hand, instead of seeing the next 2 cards, I'll push in or I'll bet high just to make people back out, and I'll get I'll take the chips that I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna sit there. Oh man, I'll just play these all the way out, see what happens.
Yeah.
Then on the river, on the last card, someone could just have a stupid hand and all of a sudden be like a flush or something like
You're
that.
done.
Yeah, and so just take your profits when you can, right?
Yeah. See, I got to learn how to play poker, man. I'm a blackjack guy.
Dude, blackjack too.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, see, and that's why I play blackjack. It ain't really, I mean, it's all random cards, but you know what I mean. It's a little bit, I guess you could call it calculated. But
Very calculated.
I guess I don't think we talked about the co-host accounts being dumped, right?
What's that about?
I guess I don't know how it works out. I ain't got no co-host account, but I seen a bunch of people. Like I seen a couple people losing huge chunks of change on I guess their co-host account got dumped. Like apparently Airbnb stopping the co-host payout thing. So I guess I seen Sean Rikidzich, he's the Airbnb automated guy. He said he lost like 40 grand. I don't know if he lost 40 grand and they put it in his account, or he just lost 40 grand out of his Airbnb account.
Ooh.
So, but yeah, it was like $39,000. So I was like, that would piss me off. But yeah, I don't have a co-host account, but yeah, I heard they're dumping those. And then, man, we wanted to talk a little bit about the government shutdown that's going on.
Okay, let's talk about it.
What's going on with not only the government shutdown, but there's a good portion of our show where we actually talk about, having multiple streams of income, because you got all these people working for free, and me and my boy Sean, shout out to Sean, we were talking this weekend. He came over and we were chopping it up, and he was like, "Hey man," he goes, "I don't know why these people are going to work for free, especially air traffic controllers." He goes, "If they all just band together and said, 'Hey, we ain't coming to work,' you would ground the whole country." which I'm like, yeah, you put everybody on the ground, you know. But it was just kind of made me see. And then there's people like struggling, like not the lower income, but I'm talking about the people that actually work, like the TSA agents, the air traffic controllers. And then some of them are hurting and struggling. It's like, dang, people are still living that paycheck to paycheck cycle, man. You know, that's why I was like, man, people got to definitely create multiple streams of income, man. It's not people out there hurting. And then people that's on government housing getting put out. It's like, dang, like, yo, you got to come up with that whole 800 or you got to roll, you know. It's like, you know, like, dang, you know, or that whole 400, however, what kind of assistance you're getting. But, you know, so it's like, it's people hurting out there, you know, and I think that goes back to like people being slaves to the corporation, you know, like the people that are going to work for free. Like, I would have called
crazy,
in.
Man.
I would have called in like, hey, matter of fact, I would have made a public service announcement. All air traffic controllers, we are not coming to work today. If you do come to work, we are going to beat the brakes off of you tomorrow if you're at the break room. For real, man. Like, ain't no way y'all coming. If y'all band together, man, it's so much.
Now, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
This goes back to the Ronald Reagan days.
Okay.
Have you heard of the air traffic controllers strike? You've heard
No.
of that?
When did that happen?
Oh, okay. That happened during Reagan.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what year.
Mm-hmm.
And they band together, like you said. They were mad about their pay or whatever. You know, they have a union. But they're a government entity, right?
Yeah.
Air traffic controllers. And so they went on strike. They said, "Oh, we're going to shut down. We can shut down this whole system. You can't fly without air traffic controllers." That same day, Ronald Reagan fired every single one of them because it's a government job. It's not like my job, for example, we're a union, but we're our own. We're not part of the government.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went on strike that same day. He fired all of them. Said we're hiring. Started bringing in people that were studying. They were going to be air traffic controllers. Hired all brand new air traffic controllers because you can't strike. And like you said, I mean, even if it's they're doing like it's just everybody calling this is band together and call. If they find out it's collusion going on, they'll fire. They can fire you. There's no union rights and all that stuff. You're gone because you're a government employee.
Man, bro, you just put me on some deep game. Never work for the government.
And everybody thought back in the day that's the safest thing you can do is work for the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's not that much that like that anymore. I don't know, but it's that's some real talk right there.
That really took my next comment out. I was going to say entrepreneurs see the power in people, but I guess that government lets you know you ain't got no power up in here.
No.
Dang, I didn't know Reagan fired all of them.
He fired all of them. Yeah, look it up. Ronald Reagan, air traffic controllers. Yeah, it's crazy. So they've never done that again. I'll tell you
now, see, my question is this, though. How many of them did it? Across the nation?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I bet you the ones in D.C. did it. That's why he fired them. Can't get Air Force One off the ground. Y'all got to go.
You got to get,
Nah, but, I mean... I didn't know that. Like, I really didn't know that.
Yeah, no mediation period. No, let's talk. No, you're gone. Fired. Every single one of them. It's crazy.
See, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many. If it was across the nation, man, they could make some noise doing that, dog. Matter of fact, if it was across the nation, he'd have his wall because ain't nobody coming in via air or on internationally, nothing. Everybody's grounded. There's your wall, Trump. For real, y'all can just, hey, if I was an air traffic controller, hey, everybody call off. But nah, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, it was just kind of weird. And I just hated to see all the people struggling. It's like, dang, man, you got to create the multiple streams of income. But it is what it is, man.
It is what it is, and that's what's and that made me think of right away. Like you said, like a backup plan or a side gig or something. Excuse me. And that's why I think everybody should have. Well, see, it'd be a good idea to have your house, I'd say, as minimalist as possible, and it pays off because you can have it where it's Airbnb-ready pretty quickly. Because if it happened to me, if I got laid off or something, or whatever, or they weren't paying me, like I said, might as well cash in on the sick days that I've saved up, and then of course not getting paid for the sick days either. I'm not going to be going to work, or I could. I don't know. Either way, I have an option.
Yeah,
and I'll sure as hell be Airbnb the hell out of every single house I have.
Yeah,
and it'll be Airbnb ready. Put it on the market right away. Try to Airbnb the hell out of it. see what happens. It might work, it might not work. I might get a little bit of money. A little bit's better than nothing. But then I'll go, hey, I'll call up my dad. Hey, we're gonna be sleeping on y'all's couch until this blows over.
Yeah.
So we're renting out our houses, on Airbnb.
So we got your paper,
It's a little bit of a backup plan. Of course, I would talk to the banks. I would talk to the people and say, hey, just can we just put this payment, next month or the month? I don't know. Maybe they'll. I don't know. You never know. There's extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think they would for that. So I have to give Airbnb a shout out. I don't praise them very often. I got to give Airbnb a shout out. They are actually helping the government employees. They're encouraging them to become hosts, and they're telling them, hey, you get like an extra. What was it? I think they get an extra $150 to become a host or something like that. So shout out to Airbnb for that. That was pretty dope. They aren't, stifling the hosts, telling them, hey, rent out your house for free. And we'll make all these little ads saying Airbnb helps out government employees, So that was cool that they did that.
I had to read that post like 2 times before I was like, wait a minute. Is he just doing like a fake thank you to Airbnb for this, or are they really doing something good? I read it again. Oh, they're actually out of their own pockets.
Yeah.
Paying. That's another thing. So if your house was Airbnb-ready, you could have thrown it on Airbnb. Go live at mom or dad's for a minute.
Yeah,
or rent a 1-bedroom efficiency somewhere. Just for a minute, and then you get paid double for every day that you rented during that time frame. That's pretty cool.
And you know what I was thinking about too? Speaking of exit strategies, to kind of what you're saying about being Airbnb ready, that was one thing I was thinking. Like, if the economy tanks, you can't really just throw up an Airbnb because it has startup costs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of be, unless you have all that furniture. Like I have a bunch of furniture banked, in different places, So now, actually, what it does is, too, when you have all this furniture, it keeps your startup costs low. Like one place, I'm only picking up one arbitrage this year, and it's pretty much to move stuff out of a condo to a arbitrage. But the startup, only thing I got to pay is the money to get the apartment because I already have it furnished. So, yeah, it's a good thing to stack up on that furniture, too. Have like a little storage shed sitting there ready to go. If anything pop off of Airbnb, you're right.
Yeah, build your own storage shed, because then those ones will eat your profits alive if you have to go store it somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's true, too. Yeah, build one in your backyard. You sure right, man.
Throw a bunch of futons in there.
Yeah, Airbnb that, too.
Oh, yeah.
For real, man.
Put a ceiling fan. Hell, yeah.
But, man, you got a bunch of notes on here,
I have
man.
a few notes, man.
You said, is Airbnb a drug?
Is
What does that mean?
Gotta get my fix, bro. It's I guess I saw it like this. And I was wanting to go, do long term, right? And on my Hurst house, I've been thinking about it. And anyways, but as soon as I put it on like the Zillows and all that, I start getting bing 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 bookings for Airbnb because it's still on Airbnb, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I was like, I gotta leave this Airbnb money behind so I can rent it long term for $1,550 a month. Where I'm used to making $2,000 or $3,000 a month. I'm like, it's hard to. Like I said, it's a drug, and I'm like, I could. And it makes you think. I can fight through this. I can fight through this ban. I can make it through this. I mean, I gotta get my fix.
And so, it is what it is.
And so I said, well, I'll just extend it out another month,
Yeah.
And then all that month got booked up. I'm like, okay, one more month out, and then I'll long term it, And I just started thinking, this must be like a alcoholic or a drug addict must. I'll start in a few days. I got this one party to go to, but I started, next month I'll start.
That check keep coming up, man. You're like, I can't do it. But I think you're honestly safe, and I'm gonna tell you why I think you're safe. Your face ain't on it. The front of your house ain't on it. You're good to go. That's how I look at it. I think you're good to go. You know what I mean? The people that are going to get shut down are going to be the people that I think the people that have the front of their listing up, they got all their name information on it. Those would be the first ones to go. To me, So, be interesting to see.
What do you think?
Interesting to see.
Cheeky's made an appearance on the podcast.
Does Superhost even matter at all? No, it doesn't. That's a good one. Yeah, no. But I guess we can go ahead and get some questions rolling. Go back to the top.
Okay, there's a lady named Mahogany keeps asking us questions, blowing us up. What did she say? When you said the next generation, you were talking about the next gen home. Is the concept for your children, raise their children there as well? Reply when you get time.
When you say next generation, is the concept for your children to raise their children there as well? That's a good question. I don't know. Like, from what they've been saying is to raise your college student there or whatever there to come home. But I like the concept of it. It's like a perfect Airbnb. The only thing is the price points and the price point and the location. That's the only thing I'm not liking right now. But yeah, I like the concept though. I think that'll be a real big hit in Airbnbs here soon.
Cool. Thank you, Mahogany Artist, for that wonderful question. We're going to be sending you our book called Live, Let, Thrive, Battle On. I'm just kidding. We don't have a book. Not yet anyways. Hey, Norman's watching us on TV. What's up, Norman? Did he have a question?
I'm not sure.
Oh, no question from Norman. Yeah. When is Bitcoin going to tank, Norman? Or is it already tanking?
But
he did. I asked Norman a Bitcoin question.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, because back it was up hovering around 6,500 for a while, and then it dipped all the way to like 5,000, and then 4,500. I was like, man, is this a good time to buy, man? He's like, nah, wait till it gets into 2,000s. Then I'd stock up on Bitcoin. So there's some Norman advice, for you Bitcoiners out there. I'm not messing with Bitcoin no more. I tried it. Nah, I'm done.
In first, out early.
Exactly. Sacrifice now, reward later. That was another topic.
Where did that come from?
And that comes from the what I'm doing is like the house hacking kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm jumping into the next house, and I guess even if you end up breaking even each year on your houses, it sucks because you see that equity there, and it's tempting to pull out. But like you said, if interest rates keep coming up, why would you pull out the equity at a higher interest rate? You're borrowing money at a high rate, and so I guess I see that. But even if you just break even each year, hopefully you do better. It's kind of like you're forcing yourself to put money away into like the savings that you can't touch until the future, until it matures, until like you got big chunks of equity in every house, and then you could do something with it. Or what is it called, 429, or what is it called when you
an exchange?
Yeah, 29 something exchange.
Yeah, an exchange.
And
we
you
don't
could
pay taxes on it.
Hopefully, hey, if you have 10 or 20 houses by then, I know you're not big on the single families, right? But you could kind of sell all those and jump into a little apartment complex, and there you go. There's your retirement. That's an option.
Yeah.
So but that's going to be years down the road, and it's kind of hard. We're an instant gratification society. We've been for a while, right? Us as kids, we want it now. We got fast food. Oh man, if you don't get that fast food in 5 minutes at the drive-through line, you're pissed, right?
Yeah.
It's instant gratification, and then to do something totally opposite is that, buy a house and say, put it on a 30-year note, and we'll see you in 30 years. That's kind of hard to do, but you're sacrificing now, keeping these houses going, keeping them, in shape, and getting renters in there, going through renters, but the payoff is like, it could be 15, 20, 30 years down the road. But hey,
Question, because I see this a lot in the FI group. Do you ever look at your net worth?
Yeah.
You do?
I got that Mint app, which is, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
What is your net worth?
According
asking.
to that Mint app, it's like it's not real, folks. I'm gonna say a number. It's not freaking real, and I'll tell you why. But first, I'll say the number. It's like $650,000 is my net worth. That's what it says. Because they put the houses on there, right? The houses that I have, own, control, whatever you say. Partners with the bank. But it doesn't have anywhere to put the debt you have on those houses. It don't have any spot to do that. So I would think
if they're putting your houses, then you're negative 650.
Well, it says positive. It says positive.
Now the question is: Mint going in there and looking at the equity you have in each of your houses?
That's a good question too, because it links you put the address of the house and it links it up to the Zillow and it gives you the Zillow estimate on it. So.
Oh man, Zillow might be telling you to sell it all, man, and you're stuck when you talk to a realtor. No, I mean I don't know. That's yeah, I haven't looked at mine. I had to look at it though. I know it's pretty bad. I know it's in the negative.
Well,
I don't know.
But it factors. But that's the thing, because even they've mentioned it like on Bigger Pockets or whatever, looking up your net worth. It factors it different. It doesn't just. It's not a simple formula like here's your debt, here's your how much you got in the bank. Everybody will be negative. In fact, it counts those as part of your assets,
right?
Yeah, and it doesn't.
Yeah, because net worth is pretty much what you can liquidate, right?
That's what I think. But I mean, we don't own these houses outright. So
that's what I'm saying. So technically, is if you owe 140, the house worth 240, you sell it, you now have $100,000 in your pocket, and then same with the next. So that's what I thought it was. And then, like for example, me and Mahogany have student loans, so then that would be a negative. So that's what I thought it was. I think I have a calculation of what my net worth is, but I don't know a number. It would definitely be in the negative though. If it's or really really close to the positive, but it'd be in the negative.
It'd be nice to have it positive.
Yeah, like 'cause I see a lot of those Choose FI people on there. Yeah, what's your net worth? I'm like, even the Dave Ramsey people, but they don't believe in debt. So so if their net worth is $5, they're winning. To them,
Yeah, they're over that mark. But I guess it sees real estate as assets.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it does.
Yeah.
Even if you don't own it all outright, which is weird. I mean, that's why it's a weird number. I mean, it's cool. It's cool to look at and say. And if I throw another house on there that's worth $250,000, then boom, it's worth. I'm up to like 900,000. Hey, look at me, I'm kicking ass. I'm
straight up.
Not really. I gotta pay them off first before I can get that money. You know what I'm saying? Or a few years down the road, I'll have some of that equity. But yeah, it's a fun number to look at.
Yeah.
But that Mint app is pretty cool though.
I have a question. If you found out you'd have $300,000 in the bank, no debt, $300K in the bank if you sold everything, would you do it? And how would you reinvest your $300K?
Bitcoin.
You're done.
That's a good question. If I knew that I could liquidate right now and have $300K in the bank, wow. I've come across that question on a smaller scale because if I do liquidate right now, I'd have a nice chunk of change. And but 300K, if I could liquidate what I got right now and get 300K, yeah, I would do it. Yeah, I would do it. How would I invest the money? I would probably get a few more rentals, man. I mean,
me too.
Because I mean, that's I would get some more rentals. I don't know though, or would you hold off and wait for like a downturn, like a crash? I don't know. Too. It's a good question.
No, I mean, like I think you could. I mean, you besides a downturn, you could wait, and you know what I'm saying, you could get like a duplex. So I'd personally get a multifamily if I had that. I'd just go ahead and get a multifamily because really, that's kind of what I'm doing now is liquidating and getting multifamilies. That's what I'm trying to do. So I mean, it's interesting thing to look at.
You're in love with that multifamily stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Because I was telling you that story of how like leveraging multifamilies is kind of it can save you in a crash. Like my dad went in the crash in '08, and we were in the Northwest, so it hit hard up there with everything tanked. All his houses lost value, but his duplex did, but he could still cash flow it. So it was like leverage. So if your main house loses value, you really don't really care because you work a job or whatever, and you work to pay that or whatever. But like me, I house hack, but it's like so many different avenues of leverage, I feel like, when you have multifamily. That's why I'm really, really on it. And I just really been thinking hard about that. I'm like, man, I need to get a multifamily property.
Yeah, you pay a pretty penny for it, but more possibilities, right?
Yeah.
You get 2 doors for the price of 1.5, maybe 1 3/4, I guess, if you think about it. And I've heard arguments against multifamily. I think
I want to know what the arguments are.
Here's one. when okay, fine, you buy it, you're gonna pay more for it. Let's say you can get like a nice 3-2 single family house, decent neighborhood for $200K. The same a multifamily.
How much you putting down?
Well, okay. It depends. Okay, let me do it like this first, and then just for this what I'm trying to argue. Okay, you get a 3-2 in a decent neighborhood for $300K. I'm sorry, $200K. A multifamily, let's say a 2-2, on one side, 2-2 on the other side, it's going to cost you $300K or more. Let's just say in the same kind of type of neighborhood, whatever, about $300K for argument's sake. 10 years down the road, you want to sell that, $200,000 house in a good neighborhood. It's going to be worth, you could probably sell it pretty easy for $280. I'm just, throwing an estimate out there. You could probably sell the way that the stuff goes up. It's a nice house. You took care of it, $280. And there's going to be a lot of buyers that want to buy a 3-2. Shitload of buyers want to buy a 3-2. That's the number one lick. And 10 years down the road, you want to sell that
Duplex.
Together it's a 4-4. Yeah, 2-2 on one side, 2-2 on the other side. Duplex in a decent neighborhood. You're gonna ask for a little bit more. You can't jump up like to 380. I wouldn't think you could. Maybe you could, but here's the thing: your buyer's market is gonna be way smaller because it's gonna be investors gonna try to buy it from you, and investors are looking at it as an investment, as a way to make money. The numbers got to work. Most of them, the good, the decent ones. The shitty ones, they'll pay whatever at whatever. But your buyer's pool is going to be small, but a 3-2 all day long, you could sell that no problem. It's going to go fast.
But what about your cash flow?
That's the thing. I mean,
because even while like let's say the Airbnb model, let's say I'm still Airbnb-ing it, and I for example. My house, it's listed for sale right now, but I'm Airbnb-ing it. So I'm still making money, with it being listed for sale.
Which one? The Arkansas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now look at a 3-2. If you list that, you could still Airbnb it because I'm Airbnb my 3-2. But I think it just kind of gives you a little more leverage. I mean, in the long term, as far as appreciation goes, won't they appreciate about the same if they're in the same decent neighborhood? The only thing is your buyer pool is smaller. So if your buyer pool is smaller, I mean, unless you're a desperate seller, and I don't see too many desperate sellers selling duplexes.
And I like the duplex concept, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm just giving you the other. What I see right away, and I have the Zillows set up to look at multifamilies too. A lot of them that pop up, aren't always in the best neighborhoods because the best neighborhoods don't want duplexes in them. And they're kind of not really taken care of that good. Just from what I've seen, the ones listed, they don't take care of them very well. If one tenant can't take care of a house, I mean, 2 sets of tenants, what are they going to do? And they want a pretty penny for them. And they usually come with either 1 or 2 renters that are already locked into leases. And so you're going to inherit some tenants too. That's another problem that I've come across.
That's true.
You could wait till they both tenants leave. You're going to lose 2 rents and then put it on the market. But then you're going to start bleeding money for a few months.
We're talking about Airbnb.
Are you talking?
We're about to throw some furniture in there.
Airbnb is the whole it's a different animal. But the ones that I've seen for sale, they just got long-term renters on both sides, and you kind of inherit them, and you're like, shit, what the hell am I going to inherit?
You know what? I'm starting to notice that a lot of duplexes that sit on markets a long time, they have renters in them. Yeah. Like my realtor sent me one out in like Granbury, and they didn't have any renters in them, but it's way out in Granbury. I'm like, who the hell wants to go out there? But you never know with the Airbnb market. You never know. But I don't know, man. It's interesting. I think it gives you more leverage, but when it's time to exit strategy, you're limited.
Yeah,
you're limited.
You just have a smaller buyer's pool.
Yeah,
and you're dealing with some cutthroat investors that ain't gonna want to pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
So whereas the rose-colored, I know. There's a.
No, okay, go ahead. What you could do is, if you're Airbnb in it, show the investor, hey, I'm making this much money. I'm cash flowing this. So if you want it, you got to. I think it leaves you with more leverage.
Yeah.
Because especially if you short-term rent it, you got more leverage. Hey, I got these 2 units. Bam, right here. This is what we want. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And one unit, the cash flow ain't gonna be there. But for an investor, they might be looking for cash flow. Like, yo, I can cash flow this. But it's so many ways. That's why I love real estate, man. It's so many ways to get it. So many different ways to skin a cat, as you always say.
Exactly. And bringing it back full circle to the last thing I wrote, you were asking me about, you just started texting me the other day about how do I go about house hacking? How much do I put down? Am I worried about a downturn that's gonna, sap my profits, or is gonna, I'm not gonna cash flow? You're asking me some in-depth question, and then you told me why, because you're considering, selling your house or house hacking the next one. Yeah. And but you were worried about the cash flow. You were worried about, a downturn, how it's gonna affect you, and blah blah blah. And I was like, and at the time I was like, it's, and you said, well, shouldn't you put more down, like 20%, 30%, or whatever you were saying? And I was saying,
no, I wasn't asking that. I don't know, single.
Okay, because I was saying, I'll put 3% down.
Yeah. Single family.
And you said, well, wouldn't you be safer by putting more down because your payment would be lower? And then I thought you said something like that.
I was asking, with you putting a small percentage down, if a downturn were to happen, because it's single family, if a downturn were to happen, what's your exit strategy? You'd be like, oh crap, only put 3% down. I can't sell it for this much because I'll be upside down.
Right.
So what's your exit strategy? That's what I was saying. Would you possibly just tell an investor, hey, here's my loan on the bank. You take it for the loan, and therefore you don't foreclose.
Okay, I didn't know about the short sell thing you were talking.
I
didn't see that in the text.
Yeah, I didn't say short sell. Yeah, okay. I wasn't saying put more down.
That makes sense. That makes a difference.
That's what I was asking.
That makes a difference because but I guess how I was arguing was like, if I had put, like, let's say 50 G's to buy this $300,000 house. Let's just say if I put 50 G's down and then the market tanks, I might end up losing the house anyways and losing all 50 G's. Whereas if I would have just put 3% down, put like 10 G's, and I would have got the house, hey, push comes to shove, I might have to let the thing go, but I'm only out the 10 G's that I put into it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's that instead of losing $150,000 of my hard-earned money. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. You're more at risk when you put a bigger down payment.
Yeah.
Than a smaller down payment.
Say put a big down payment if it's a multifamily. I can see that. But single-family homes, if you can put the 5, do the 5. But look at our boy Norman. That's why I like Norman, man. I call him the exit strategy king. He said, do a cash for keys on the tenant. Ask to see the current lease agreement between the tenant and the landlord. Ask the most recent cash flow on the property. Hey, this is all good stuff he's telling you too. This is true. Like, you can do that. Like, I've heard of people cash for keying the tenant. Like, even Syed said it. He's like, the people weren't comfortable with Airbnb. He said, hey, I'll give you money. You can just get out. And I'll Airbnb it, So, that's funny too. Cash for keys.
Cash for keys, baby.
I mean, yeah, it's so many ways, man. But yeah, those are actually good ways. I'm about to think about using those if I get a multifamily with tenants in it.
You know what? I'm going way back to when we first started this podcast. Yeah. And in the Hurst house, I hadn't Airbnb yet, right? And I was looking for the Padre, a condo in Padre, South Padre Island. And I told you, well, one lady that was selling this one that we liked, she sent me you want it? Yeah, we've been Airbnb-ing it. We've been doing good. Here, I'll send you the numbers. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't Airbnb yet, so I was like, okay, I'm looking at these numbers. Like, wow, she's making pretty good money at $1,500 a month, and the mortgage would only be like $1,000 a month. That's pretty good. I was just looking at the raw numbers that she sent me from the thing you print out on Airbnb. Mm-hmm. Knowing now, if I was gonna, that's the dangerous thing. I mean, for you and me, I guess if you want to get over on somebody, it'd be pretty easy showing them the Airbnb numbers. But especially on the beach house, you're gonna pay someone like $100 to do a turnover over there because they got to clean out all the sand. They got to kind of do a deep cleaning every time. The people go to the beach, they got sand all over them. It gets everywhere in the condo. So they got to do like a good deep clean. So you might be paying someone to do a turnover out of 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, $100 every time. Every few days. I mean, she didn't, and it doesn't show that on that sheet that they print out for you. Yeah. You're just seeing the raw profits. She could be way upside down because of those cleaning fees, right?
Well, I don't know. If she was smart, she just charged the cleaning fee, the cleaner, But even at that still skews the numbers, though. Because even at that, you're sitting here looking at $1,500 a month, but yeah, $100 goes to cleaning every month, and that ain't really
per month.
Well, per cleaning,
That's what I'm saying.
So and that's how. Remember, I a while ago I said, hey, if you're buying an Airbnb-ready house, you might want to be careful and make sure you run your numbers. That was the reason why, because there's people out here getting over, you know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of doing it with the Arkansas house. I'll give them, like, if they ask me the numbers, hey, what my mortgage is, hey, I'll show them, here's the mortgage. You want the utilities too? Okay, but you got to ask. But,
Oh, yeah, but that wasn't on the sheet.
The utilities, you got to look at a lot, And see, but what happens is, look at what you learn now that you got an Airbnb. You're like, these, what are your expenses? To like an investor who just does long-term rentals, they might get thrown off by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they see $2,000-3,000 a month. Like, oh, that's what you do, and your mortgage is $1,000. Hey, it's a lot more that goes into that. And I've seen a lot of people, like, if you ever join a Facebook, there's a bunch of Airbnb investment groups. There's always some people skewing off some numbers and get quiet when you ask them what their real expenses are. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, they turn a blind eye to that.
Yeah, they do.
Some of them might be better off doing long term. I mean, who knows? I mean, you never know if they're not getting the good cleaners in there and paying too much for utilities and cable and that shit. That'll eat your profits quick,
real quick. But LLT has got an announcement. LLT, we have officially got merchandised. We partnered up with Teespring, and they got all the merchandise. You can go to our site, click shop with us. We still have to set up our merchant account stuff. Like, I just have them sitting there. We got to set that up. But y'all can buy LLT gear. We got leggings, we got pillows, we got T-shirts, tank tops, sweaters. We are coming. We'll be having it on here soon. LLT. But yeah, we got that. We got a bunch of stuff coming in the works. Steve's been working on some stuff with Patreon. We got a few things coming.
Yeah, we're gonna get the Patreon up and running, and because everybody needs their LLT fix, right?
Yeah.
And we do the free podcasts and stuff. We appreciate all the love, but people have been reaching out to us, asking us about, hey, thanks for the advice on blank. Do you have like a code I can use to sign up because I want to get y'all paid, or do you have a Patreon where I can send some money to you guys because we appreciate what you do? I mean, we're not asking for money. Yeah, we are.
No, we rather provide a product or a service.
Yeah, but if you go, we're going to start doing some more. We talk freestyle here. We cover a bunch of topics. But what I foresee the Patreon doing, Patreon is like a little website that people will pay, like, I don't know, $1 an episode or $5 a month to get, whatever subscription. It's cheap. And then you get, like, you're privy to, like, these podcasts that we make that are just for the Patreon. Yep. And it'll come up on your iPhone or your Android or whatever you got. It'll come up on wherever you usually get your podcasts from. Yeah. And so it's just a little something, we might tackle the subject, go more, way in depth on it, and throw some more cuss words than usual, because it's like you're buying cable.
Freestyling it. Yeah.
And so just for the hardcore fans that want a little bit more from the Live, Let, Thrive, we're going to start doing that. So.
Oh, Norman, I would be careful doing that. Norman wrote, get a single family home and convert it to multifamily. There's zoning issues that come with that. So, yeah, you always be careful doing that. But, yeah, I would go that cash for keys route. But, yeah, that's the biggest issue. You run into zoning issues. But, yeah, man, we got time.
We got time.
Yeah, we got to roll.
All right.
Yeah, man, that was a good ep.
Great episode.
Yeah, we chopped some good game. Yes, sir.
We got a lot more topics, a lot more things coming at you. Stay with us. Live, Let, Thrive. And are we going to roll another ep on here, too, from the interview?
We'll see. Okay, we may be live in a few more minutes. We'll let you know.
We might chime in a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll be letting y'all know.
No zoning in Houston. Let's shoot. Let's snap up some places in Houston then.
Oh, no, man. Okay. I'll call you on that one. But, yeah.
Norman.
All right, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Live, Let, Thrive.
Remember to check out the website. Go to Shop With Us. We got everything on there. We are also uploading all the YouTube videos. So, peace.
Next up, we'll be wearing some of the merch. Later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.